something. And I'm not sure if I chill with my coffee. And by that time, there might be, LinkedIn might be working, which it is, working or not, because there it goes. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. And I've been trying to do a couple of shows, couple of articles that have been really good, and just haven't gotten to them. So now we'll try to get to them and see if we can. Right? That sounds good. Okay, so here we go. Let's get over to the stuff. This one's called Lessons You Can Learn from Direct Mail Sales. And I think what's interesting to me about this is that it has almost nothing to do with direct mail. But because people are seeing direct mail coming up as a search term, as a use term, they're using it in their headlines to try to get more readership. Clickbait, if you will, and it got me. And so, here you go. This is from radioinc.com. No idea what that is. I guess it's maybe a blog or something. By Tom Bloomer. I should probably connect with Tom. Anyway, Tom says the road to success is always under construction. I think that's probably true. You're always pivoting, right? And 30 years in advertising sales taught him a lot. The first one was the Life magazine pitch. And the Life magazine pitch is basically the same one as the brewery equipment pitch, if you've heard of that one. That one goes back a little further. This auctioneer was selling off a brewery that had gone under. And basically his pitch was that these pieces of equipment can make you rich beyond the dreams of avarice. I've always liked that line. Beyond the dreams of avarice. If you Google that, you'll find the story of the brewery equipment. I don't know if the buyer made that kind of money or not. But the bottom line was that it was better to pitch beyond the dreams of avarice than it was to pitch old used beer making. Does that make sense? Of course it does, right? So, in the movie Tin Man, the salesperson, it's set in the 50s, and the idea would be that right now you've got a good before picture. Wouldn't you like an after picture of a house that's been newly remodeled? And all of your friends and relatives will be amazed at how your house looks brand new now, till they come in, of course. And so cover of Life magazine and get you dreaming and all that sort of thing. And I got to platinum in Amway, so we did a lot of this. A lot of pictures of yachts and airplanes and the things you could have if it all worked out. The trick is in point 2, and I think this is really valuable. Point 2 is that you got to watch out for selling dreams bigger than the capability of your audience. Okay, let's just say capability. That's a fair term. And so, people get upset because the big dreams don't always work out. They're more upset the more you got them dreaming, if they really can't afford to do what you've got done and lose the house or something like that. So this guy says, and here's your direct mail part. In direct mail, I could create much more excitement if I only showed beautiful full-page ads to my prospects in ad sales, right? Okay? Now, I don't know how he's got direct mail and full-page ads connected here, because that doesn't seem right to me. But maybe he means like a beautiful mailer or something. But they couldn't afford a full page, so then they were no longer excited about a half page. Right? So you got to tailor it to what they're looking for and what their needs are. And I think that's always true. But you can't always know what their needs are, and you can't always know what their resources are, which is why We target some, we see what happens, and then we target some more. When we were doing Hudson's Bay Company, the oldest continuously operating corporation in the world, I think, from 1570 or something. I used to go up to Toronto in the main store downtown, and it's the closest thing we probably have to Harrods in London, in North America, at least the closest I've ever seen. Wonderful menagerie of stuff in the Hudson Bay store, and they actually gave me the 3-volume history of the Hudson Bay Company, which I did read, and another more of a coffee table illustrated book, but it's still a couple hundred pages. So I probably read 1,500 pages worth of the history of Hudson's Bay, which is probably the history of Canada. I mean, it almost is. Since they were there, 70 years before the Pilgrims landed, if you think about that, right? They didn't do much with it. They mostly sat on the shore of the Hudson's Bay and got the Indians to come and trade their beaver skins for blankets. But, everybody kind of benefited. It worked out. Anyway, but this was our very first start at modeling, and we didn't understand circularity. We didn't understand how time plays a role. We learned a lot, let's just say. But the Hudson's Bay Company asked us for a model for their customers. They wanted a model, and that's the way modeling was done in those days, in the early 90s or mid-90s. And when you told people there might be a reason to have multiple models, they looked at you funny. And so we built a system that built models rather than a model. And that took us a long way, and I think we're still a little bit ahead of the industry, I have to say. But what happened was, one of the things that happened was, I said, you need a model for travel, you need a model for insurance. They sold life insurance, they sold, I think they sold home insurance. I mean, they sold a lot of insurance. It was all affiliated stuff, wasn't their stuff. And then they also drove traffic to the stores. Those were the 3 main areas, but they had a credit card. Well, everybody had their credit card. 50% of Canada had the Hudson's Bay card. So when we started modeling, we were so excited because what we saw was, for the travel, we saw that people who had a $3,000 credit limit or above bought the travel. You could almost just, look for anybody with a $3,000 limit and offer them the travel because it just correlated almost 100%. And we were so excited. And they said, yeah, that's a really good spot, a really good observation. But here's what really happens. Here's the real world for you. The real world is that we promote travel. We stuff it in our billing statements. And if somebody wants to go on a trip, well, the trips are fairly expensive. They call up and they say, I'd really like to go on this trip, but I only have a $1,500 credit limit. And we say, customer service says, oh, that's okay. We'll raise your credit limit to $3,000 so you can buy the tour. So it was totally circular. The causal relationship was not that people with $3,000 or above bought travel, but it was that people who bought travel were guaranteed a $3,000 or above credit limit. So it was like 100%. And that's the trouble with all of this. You can't always know which is wagging the dog and which is the dog wagging the tail. I got that messed up, didn't I? And I did it on purpose, of course. It was deliberate because I wanted you to think about causal relationships. Let's go on. Okay. This is an excellent article. No, it isn't. It's not that good an article, but it's an excellent point. Okay? By Heidi Tolliver Walker. Okay? And direct mail retargeting is starting to go mainstream. I'm loving these, every article, everything I hear now, like that last one, is that direct mail is mainstream, and you better get on the ball because it's not going away, and you better find someone who knows how to do it because 9 out of 10 of the articles I read are complete nonsense about an average response rate or an average return on investment or this or that or an average audience or a personalization is everything or add it to your mix. None of those things are any good. They're not the best advice. Okay, I commented on a Gartner study of what direct mail was paired with, It was 73% was email. And I got Mackenzie, who was on here yesterday. Is anybody on here today? I haven't gotten any comments. I don't know if this comment thing is working today. I see something from Keith, but I didn't see it pop up in my comment reader. Okay, did I do the coffee? Yeah, you missed the coffee. I'll take a nice sip. Mackenzie asked me about adding direct mail to digital or adding digital to direct mail, and I wrote a long answer, probably longer than she wanted, and so maybe we'll dig up that article. But the bottom line on my answer was that most of the people talking about the connection between digital and mail have no clue on attribution. And if they stop the digital, because most of my work has been where I optimized mail, and the digital all went on because the digital was what everybody thought was doing all the work. And if you're not really on top of attribution, your customer might visit your website, might have visited your website 6 months ago, might have visited it 10 minutes ago, might have got the mailing triggered 100% that visit, but they visited, let's say, okay? Maybe then they come in the store, okay? And if you now they buy, okay? So you've got a touch from mail, a touch from the website, and a touch from the store. Who gets credit? I don't know. Would they have bought if they hadn't visited the store? Not sure. Would they have bought if they hadn't visited the website and found out it was a nice website? I don't know. Can't tell you. Would they have done anything if they hadn't gotten the mailing piece? Hard to say, isn't it? And so anybody who thinks that they can come up with some algorithm that's going to multiply the weights of the variables and give you an answer. Oh, it'll give you an answer, all right. What answer would you like? And most of the time they want a digital answer. Oh, all of the people we mailed that bought went to the website. So it's the website. Yeah, that's a little bit like that $3,000 with the Hudson Bay. It doesn't necessarily have the causal force. So how do you figure it out? Well, here's how. Here's a simple way. It's a simple way with mail. It's not simple with anything else. You can't just close the store down and see if sales go down. And don't be surprised if they do, right? They will, right? We had a client that thought that they had, about 100 stores, and they thought that they could do no more stores and just do digital everywhere in the country. But people wanted to see the stuff they sold because it was, their own line of merchandise. And we did a mapping project. I do those too. And we found that something like 85-90% of their sales came within 5 miles of the store. It was just like right around the store, even in a big metro area. It just wasn't far. And except they had a store in the Mall of America, and we had significant sales in South Dakota. Hey, Michelle, how are you doing? Good to see you again. And we had significant sales in Minnesota, and in Mankato, Mankato too. But in South Dakota, what they do up there is they get on a bus with a bar and a bathroom, and they drive to the Mall of America as an excursion. And they buy stuff, and then they get back on the bus and the bar and go home. Make a day of it. Anyway, I think it's about an 8-hour drive each way. So, we had some big sales up there. But in general, we only got the sales around the store. So it's very difficult. You can't just close the store. And you can't just stop the digital. You're not going to just stop your website and see if sales are affected. Of course, the sales are affected. But you can stop mail. And you don't even have to stop it like stupid Nordstrom's did, or stupid J. Jill did, or stupid Talbot's did, or stupid Sears did, or stupid countless mailers have done. They thought digital would do everything. They stopped. That's not how you test, idiots. The way you test, sorry, I'm in ranting here mode. The way you test is you don't mail a few of them. Let's say 10%. We did this over and over with Musician's Friend because they were owned by Guitar Center, who's a retailer, and Guitar Center was owned by a venture company in Dubai or something. And so none of them believed in mail except the guys at Musician's Friend. And we did 6 tests, and they were, tens of thousands each time, and over 6 years. And every time the mail had a huge return on investment. That the customers that didn't get a piece of mail compared to the customers that did were 300% return on investment at least. And I'm talking EBITDA type return on investment. If you don't know what that is, go ask your chief financial officer. Say, is that some kind of horse duver EBITDA? Yeah, he'll laugh and you'll probably get fired. Don't go do that. This is not financial advice. Okay, so this article is about retargeting with mail, and we had incredible results. And it wasn't my idea. It was Brian DeLate at LS Direct. And I think this, I don't know. Brian, if you're out there, I'll connect with you. LS Inc. was this one, but it has a product called Boomerang Direct. I think that might be the same company. Maybe they changed it from LS Direct to LS Inc. Anyway, it's retargeting with mail, and it really worked great for this retailer. Because first we tested the catalog and we found a 300 to 900 return on investment, depending on how you counted it, and both were legitimate. So, because Pass Along got them another triple in which almost no one talks about Pass Along. It's because they're so careful to only mail one piece per household per ever, and that's a big mistake. Your customers are your best advocates if you give them a little literature to hand out. Anyway, so. Patrick, the VP of Marketing, said, why would we mail a catalog to our customers who understand what we sell when our biggest problem, according to the market research, is no one knows who we are? We should be doing lots of brand advertising out in the mass media. And I said, well, that may be right, Patrick, but let's test it. He said, you can test it? I said, yeah. Remember, the MBA CMOs you're talking to not only never took a course in mail or probably in testing, but they never even heard it mentioned in their graduate school or probably in the company they went to work for. So I said, sure, what we do is just hold out a few of them and see how they do compared to the ones we don't. I know that you have a hard goods product, so there's not much continuing on purchasing, but let's see how it comes out. Let's look at the numbers. Okay, that sounds like a good idea. And it kept me from being fired right on the spot. So anyway, we found this huge return on investment. So then I said, you're doing so well, we should be testing the offers and things. We should be doing more mail, not less. And so we started doing more mail, and we started testing what drove traffic. And out of 4 headlines and benefits that we tested, one was way better than others. The others were good, but they just didn't drive action. And you can't always predict that, and it was really wonderful. And so when we got that, we got so much ROI on that I then said, you can make money prospecting. You could be mailing people, just mailing people with a similar geodemographic and a similar kind of neighborhood. So we did that, and that did drive traffic, and it did work. But then Brian DeLate from LS Direct, which may or may not be the same as mentioned in here, said to them, you're already doing TV commercials, you're already driving traffic to your web, you got lots of web traffic. Why not, now that you know what to say from the mail testing, send that to people who visited the store? Bonus, you're already spending most of that money to get people to go to the website. Mass media with a good benefit to the website. Mail retargeting, amazing. It worked amazing, and it took them to going public and growing. Like, I'm trying to remember how much they grew. I mean, I know the numbers. They grew 33% in 1 year, from is that right? From 75 million to 100 million in 1 year, right? It's public information. So anyway, I'm a big fan of Brian and LS Direct. If LS Inc. is the same one, great, but if it's not, it's not. And they do a lot of work on the back end to figure out from web visitors who are basically anonymous, this is without them registering or anything, who did what. Oh, I forgot. I should have this come up first. Oh, I sent you an email yesterday and about all you need is mail. We're having a little meetup. We're going to talk marketing. The style consultant assures me that it's going to be fun, and it's not going to go more than an hour because I think our Zoom expires, so it'll just cut us off. So it's not going to take your whole day, but it will be fun. You'll get to meet some marketing people. We got a couple of big people already signed up. I don't know if I should mention anybody or not. Matthew, I'm going to mention Matthew Parker. Matthew Parker registered. He is a big celebrity here on LinkedIn and has great ideas on selling print. So if you're in the print business, you want to be there to say hi to Matthew. And I have to do this to him because it's past his bedtime in the UK, and he's not sure he can he can manage to stay up till 9 o'clock to join us. So it's a Friday night. You can sleep in all day Saturday. It's not going to kill you. On the other hand, if you're in California like David Rosendahl, are you coming, David? Mackenzie, you should be there and get David to come. We'll have a riot. We had a great time on Christmas. We just had a lively conversation. We talked marketing. Where can you do this? You can't do it anywhere. This is a pure marketing, no big deal, no strain. Just come and enjoy yourself. And if you're on the East Coast, you can probably bring a drink because it'll be almost 5 by then. And if you're in the UK, you can. Yeah, California, it'll only be 1 in the afternoon. That'd be like a 2 martini lunch. So go to wdma.org, and it's up in the upper corner, right up there. It says coming events, and just click on there and register so we know how many are coming. I don't know what we'll do if too many register. I think we only, we had 10 for Christmas, and it was perfect. So, get in there, and we'll boot everybody else out. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. I'm John Mc.